The day I graduated, I let my family auction me off into the merger marriage. The groom turned out to be the first boy I ever chased and never caught. I thought it would be one of those long-lost sweethearts, second chance fairy tales. Instead, I accidentally learned that, first, he still had someone hidden in his heart, and second, the guy's kink is locking girls up. Fine. If I can't beat him, I can at least ghost him. Yet the morning after I asked to call the whole thing off, I woke up in a stranger's glass, with an ankle cuff bolted on. Excuse me. At first I'd actually refused the merger. Mom cheerfully said, "Suit yourself." Within months Sterling was circling the drain, so I told her I'd come home and run it. Turns out the whole family was about to go bankrupt. Okay, new plan, find a job. After 3 miserable months I texted my parents, "Is the merger marathon still open?" When I met Lucian again I realized this was bigger than teenage deja vu. I'd hunted him all through college, hunted him hard. He was 2 grades ahead of me and the untouchable prince of B school. Perfect cheekbones, stupid rich, wrapped in a cold, stay-back shimmer, that manufactured melancholy rolling off him. Catnip to 20-year-old me. 2 straight years of tricks, traps, and grand gesture ambushes. The worst, I got blackout drunk, pinned him in a private booth, and forced him to call me Vance. I swear I have no memory of my own thought process. My roomie said I looked possessed. She hauled me off him. After that, Lucian basically vanished from campus. No explanation, just gone. My rebellious phase died the day he disappeared. After graduation I shipped out for a master's. By the time I flew home, Lucian had become a titan I couldn't even afford to look at. Vance had Seaside in its pocket, yet here it was courting my middle-class clan for a merger. I couldn't help wondering if this was Lucian's idea of payback. Mom rolled her eyes. "Please. Your sister married first, so now it's your turn. If Chairman Vance can stomach your brother, we'll ship him off instead." That settled my nerves. Our second first meeting wasn't awkward at all. Gone was the frosty poet. Lucian was now polite, charming, easy to talk to. Before I could dissect the makeover, my gaze landed on the prenup. I nearly drooled on the page. I had never seen that many zeros in one column. So we began the merger mating dance. Lucian still didn't like me. I could feel it. He was constantly in meetings, occasional dinners, soft smiles, invisible wall, same old story, just better disguised. Grown-ups are experts at pretending, especially Lucian. He could fake affection without twitching. I sighed for him, not me. Honestly, I was fine with the arrangement. Who gets to replay their freshman crush at 26? And the crush has money, power, cheekbones, and abs. Jackpot. Oh, there's more. Nature had blessed him in certain extracurricular dimensions too. Mom begged me not to be shy, to be myself around him. Total overkill. Who inhales their first love's mouth and then just stops? Not me. But after that marathon night, I felt a tinge of regret. As the corporate pawn, I saw that Lucian didn't just dislike me, he didn't respect me either. I'd told him to stop. He acted deaf. I cried hard enough to hiccup. He silenced me with his tongue and kept going. Message received. At his core the man is pure self-interest. I sighed again, pitying myself. Lucian rolled over, spooned me from behind. A featherlight kiss landed under my ear. Then his gravel voice, "What's on your mind?" I stayed silent, feeling resistance. He held me a beat longer, then slid out of bed. He dressed with his back to me. I still peeked. Hypocrite. Heal thyself. Minus the personality flaws. The view was museum grade. Whatever. I'm just the merger bride. I don't get to file complaints. I got up and tied his silk tie. My knuckles brushed his throat. He shivered. When I finished, he stared at me, finally dropped a quick kiss on my forehead, and left. Back under the duvet. I tried to nap. No luck. Minutes later my iPhone rang, his incoming call. I grabbed the wrong phone, he said. "Could you drop mine at Vance when you're free?" Only then did I notice the black device in my hand. "What's your passcode?" I asked, then backpedaled, "so I can text before I arrive." "My birthday." "Kidding," he laughed. "Use yours." "Oh, right." After he hung up I hit Wikipedia, memorized his birthday, and stored it for survival. Enter the deep end. Lucian was already testing me. Single-handedly I dragged my entire bloodline up the social ladder. Now the family treated me like Faberge. Sycophants everywhere. Only I knew how glossy this captivity really was. Every gift from fate arrives with a barcode. Just then his phone buzzed. "You serious? That's illegal. Husband and wife share the same tree. If Lucian goes down, I'm mulch." I typed my birthday. Barged straight into his WhatsApp. "You serious? That's illegal. You're getting married. Just live a decent life. Man. If Serena ever finds out, she'll bail instantly. Bro, you're extreme. Why can't you be content?" The last line flickered past. The thread was kicked clicked offline before I could scroll up. I sat there, pupils dilated. Holy hell, massive secret unlocked. Heart ricocheting. I rode to Vance. The elevator doors parted and a suit-clad aide strode out, arms full of folders, sleek ponytail swishing. She gave me a weird look. I filed it under corporate curiosity and marched into the top floor suite. Wall-to-wall glass, city glittering below. Lucian sat behind a slab of ebony, reading like I was silence itself. Homesuit Lucian is hot. Corner office Lucian is hot with menace. I had zero bandwidth to enjoy the genre shift. Those messages were ping-ponging in my skull. I shuffled over and offered the phone. He took it, eyes flicking up. Something wrong? I faked zen. Nope. He studied me. Voice silk-wrapped. Lunch later? Crap. That tone. Full-body goosebumps. He knows I saw. I backpedaled. Rain check. Sterling emergency. Super urgent. Gotta run. Almost out the door when his voice drifted after me. Baby. You forgot your phone. Ghost speed exit. His assistant brought it down. Lucian texted, am I that scary? Me. Urgent crisis. Promise. At Sterling I hunched over my laptop. 3 hours. Every social platform. Every keyword trick. Finally surfaced a maybe him burner. Empty feed. 1-year-old post. Now scrubbed. But comments intact. Please tell me this is a joke. Definitely a creepypasta. Right. Algorithm. Deliver this to her. Run. Troll account. Swear. Then a long reply lit up. Broke boys shouldn't play kidnap. Got your own house or basement. Got the chops to stay off every radar for years. Can you serve balanced 3 a day? Cable TV. Gym equipment. Ready to keep someone for life? If yes, DM me. I quit this soul-sucking job yesterday. Go fisheye guys swipe left. I'll kill myself on day 1. Sis you've got me tempted. Any gender. Line forms here. Applications open. Best terms win. What in the actual? Hand shaking. I opened Lucian's bookmarks. How to make sure she never leaves me. Kidnap prep checklist. Educational only. Glass floor plans that keep insiders in. Burglar proof. Of course. Some links saved as recently as last night. iPhone flat on the desk like it bit me. My heart was having its own private earthquake. Vance. Lucian might actually be a psychopath. Once I calmed down, I started to dissect the situation. First, combining that stranger's text with Lucian's guilty face. The story was 99% true. Second, the prisoner definitely wasn't me, after all, who locks up their own wife. Third, the texter warned that once I knew, I'd break up with him. Add it all up. Lucian cheated, hardcore, non-consensual love style. When the other woman refused to be his mistress, he threw her in chains. After reaching that conclusion, I began to feel off. I knew it. I knew life doesn't just hand you a free pie and then stuff $100 bills in your pocket. It lobs you a bomb with the pin half pulled. Could I still back out? I cautiously texted my dad. Dad, you trying to kill this family? Me? Just kidding. God, you really hate me. Before I could decide what to do next, an unknown number pinged me. Staying with a man who doesn't love you, won't you regret it? Holy crap. Who distilled my inner monologue and sent it back? Another text followed, this time from a number I recognized, Lucian's half-brother, Julian. It was just one photo. Lucian, head bent, cigarette glowing, a girl staring up at him. They were close. Too close. Within one morning my emotions had been strapped into a roller coaster and left dangling. I called Julian. Bars sounds in the background. Sister-in-law, he dragged the word through 9 bends and 18 curves. I held my iPhone away like it smelled. Gross. Such double standards. Explain the picture. Julian drawled. No deep meaning. Really. Random shot. Looked interesting. Hit send. Interesting to you? Me? No wonder you'll never inherit Vance. Enjoy life as a permanent loser. Julian, son of. I hung up. Lucian and Julian, half-brothers only 2 years apart, loathe each other. Back when I was chasing Lucian, Julian volunteered to coach me. I naively agreed. He claimed Lucian's kink is stealing his brother's girls and advised me to date Julian first. I almost bought it, until Lucian stormed in and planted a fist in his face. Now it's clear, Lucian's kink isn't brother play, it's captivity play, ethics optional. I felt every hair on my scalp tingle. I started avoiding him. Part terror, part revulsion. The girl in the photo looked familiar. Then it hit me. She was the same one I'd seen stepping out of Lucian's top floor suite that morning. I'm a wreck. Sigh. Innocent first love lives only in dreams. Days passed without seeing Lucian. Vance asked if Lucian and I had quarreled. I said, Lucian might be a psycho, psycho. Vance, with his net worth. A little psycho is practically a feature, but he's not psycho toward me. Even better. After the merger marriage. Right. I'd keep one eye shut. When the scandal blew up, I'd play the clueless victim. Still profitable. Totally doable. I finally felt better. Just in time for the housekeeper to call me to dinner. I bounced downstairs and crashed into Lucian's gaze in the living room. Too late to retreat. At the table his eyes kept drifting to me. When he announced he was leaving, my parents practically vacuumed me into his car. Lucian held the door, smiling that soft, lethal smile, so handsome it almost killed me. Turns out my mental prep was sorely insufficient. In the car he asked, "You're dissatisfied?" I clutched the seatbelt. With what? Me. My brain blue-screened before I understood. No, not at all. At the red light he turned to stare. I stared out the window, avoiding him. In the window's reflection, his dark eyes stayed fixed on me. I simply shut my eyes. Then he dropped another bomb, still into Julian. What the hell? You can scare me, but don't insult me. I whipped around. Did I offend you? Mention Julian again and I'm jumping out. He gave a cold laugh. So you'd leap from a moving car for him? I was stunned. Open the door. I'm gonna puke. Try to run. Dream on. I pressed my temples, exhausted by this derailed conversation. When we stopped, he opened my door and warned, "If you don't want me finding out, be more careful." Me, nut job. Lucian seems to have developed split personality whiplash. Icy in the car. The second we're inside glass he pins me to the foyer and kisses me breathless. Foyer, living room, sofa, bedroom, bathroom, until I'm sobbing. I thought you were different. Unmoved. He says, I am. I'm richer. Arg, accursed capitalist. Dawn was tinting the sky when he finally let me sleep. I woke in the afternoon to Julian's call, sister-in-law. Hear the rumor. Big bro. Bought a private all just to please you. I nearly fainted again. For whom is that island? Really? Julian's tone was pure mischief, just a friendly reminder. Why not pick me instead? I'm way nicer. And think, when your workaholic ignores you, who's he busy entertaining? I lost it. Are you mental? Date you. I'd be a laughingstock. Check yourself into the psych ward first. The Vance clan is a certified asylum, but Julian wasn't finished. On my way to Sterling a supercar blocked the street. Julian, crimson hair, leaning against the door, winking. Fancy meeting you. I kept a straight face and considered flooring the accelerator. He slid off his shades, fox eyes glinting, thought it through. Dump Lucian. Make him crawl. Tough. I know. I can help. I cut in. You're tracking my calendar. Huh? I hate seeing nice girls conned. I rolled my eyes. His grin flashed a canine. Seriously, what do you see in Lucian? Why won't you give me a shot? Because I don't like you. But you texted me goodnight in college. I meant I'll ruin you, sooner or later. In high school you said my eyes were pretty. I said open your damn eyes and look. And you confessed you liked me. I said I'd rather die. Yet you remember every word. Speechless. He leaned closer. We've known each other longer. Why only Lucian? Finally, I saw the real infection. I leveled my voice before Lucian and I met. We clawed at each other every encounter. Soon as I fell for him, you decided you loved me. Julian, examine your own issues. Classic middle child stew. Brothers equal rivals. Enemies. Mirrors. Only war or near death makes you family. Only child you. You've never had the guts to share one peaceful drink with your big bro. You're terrified of meeting his eyes. Yet you crave his praise more than oxygen. Fix yourself first. Julian's face froze. The color of someone who just swallowed a spoonful of crap. I let out a long sigh, hung my arm out the window, and patted his shoulder. Time to grow up. Jules. I'd actually known Julian since way back. High school. The first time we met he claimed my eyes were cussing him out. Insisted I apologize. He had bleached yellow hair, fashionably shredded clothes, and 3 wannabe thugs backing him while he cornered me outside the gate. I said sorry. Then that night I paid some guys to snatch him, drag him into a back alley, and wail on him for half an hour. When we walked out, a tall man leaned against the street lamp at the mouth of the alley. Up close. He wasn't just built, he was drop-dead gorgeous. Cigarette parked between his lips. Even better, he looked like he could dismantle a motorcycle with one hand. I remember thinking, crap on toast. My parents kept the purse strings tight. Hiring muscle had cost me 2 weeks' allowance. Afraid he'd hit me, or rat. I bluffed as hard as I could. If you breathe a word, tomorrow it's you lying in that alley. Under the hazy light he gave a soft snort. Didn't say a thing. I got antsy, lowered my brows, tried to look lethal. Got it? He said, got it, and strolled past us into the dark. I lost sleep for days. Turned out he kept his mouth shut. No teachers. No payback. Not even Lucian could pin it on me. College. First glimpse of Lucian. My heart jackhammered. True love. Right. Then I saw Lucian and Julian together. Memory smacked me upside the head. Maybe it wasn't love, maybe it was pure textbook suspension bridge adrenaline. Julian reminded me of unfinished business. So before I headed to Sterling, I swung by the hospital and texted Evelyn. I'd done my homework. The text that night, sent from her phone. She looked ready when I stepped into the private booth and shut the door. No small talk. What exactly are you to Lucian? Evelyn's lashes trembled. She stared at the carpet. Finally she pressed her lips, cheeks flushing. Vance and that's private. Even if you're his fiancé, you don't get to ask. I laughed, one sharp exhale. Word is Vance is still in the hospital. Do you even know what Lucian's planning? Evelyn stood, chin high. Sterling, this isn't your concern. She left without another glance. A determined little snow-white flower. Night. Lucian lounged on the couch scrolling his iPad. I blurted, let's call off the merger marriage. He didn't look up. You're adorable. Adorable and naive. The merger marriage had funneled serious money to the Sterling family. Me wanting out sounded like a pig butcher scam. Still, the thought sat in my throat like a fishbone. I'm young enough to crave romance. Thought I'd stumbled into some epic second chance story. Sigh. Should have declined. I made one last effort. With your clout you don't need a merger marriage. Why? Lucian set the iPad aside. Serena. Who did you see today? Still smiling. Eyes chipped ice. Silence thick enough to choke on. He rose. I stepped back without thinking. He closed the distance. Palm warm against my nape. Voice gentle. Don't you like me? I yelped. Who said that? Lucian, you did. I muttered. Ancient history. Is it? Anyway, you shot me down. I admit, part of me wanted payback. 6 months of chasing. Zero encouragement. I apologize, he said, gaze drilling into me. Forgive me? I blinked. Sure, he smiled, killer handsome. I stared like an idiot. Then, let's get the license tomorrow. I snapped awake, stumbled back. Bit early. No, his hand hovered, opened, closed. Yeah. Early. Something felt off. He sat again, still smiling. That skin-crawling feeling was back. I rubbed my arms. I need to run to Sterling. Crash there tonight? He nodded. I won't be back. I never made it to Sterling. Checked into a random hotel, desperate for quiet. My heart felt wrung out. Whole world versus me. Thoughts pinballed until I finally slept. I woke to humid, syrupy air, sat bolt upright. Clink clank. Silver chain sang from my ankle. This isn't right. Click. Lights on. Lucian. Sleeves rolled. Dabbed sweat from my forehead. Offered the bedside water. Hydrate. I wiggled my foot. Gold cuff. Thin chain bolted to the bed frame. Brain buffering. Did I time travel? I looked at him. Who am I? He laughed low. Amnesia won't work. Wait. Kidnapping. For real. He pressed the glass to my lips. Sorry, I'm insecure. You're insane. I shoved him. Insecure equals handcuffs now? He set the glass down, undid the cuff. Didn't want this. Consider it a warning. Unbelievable. One talk with Evelyn. One. And I wake up in a hostage video. Why does everybody's love story need my corpse as confetti? I swallowed rage. Vance DNA. The quiet ones bite hardest. Lucian's worse than Julian. I tucked my ankle under the quilt. Tried logic. Ever thought of, normal courtship? Lucian, you think my method's abnormal? I admire the shameless, truly. What do you think? He studied me. Serena, I like you. You realize that, right? When I pursued you the proper way, you weren't interested. World tilting. He confiscated my iPhone, grounded me, and confessed undying love. I tried reasoning. You're into someone else? Fine. I'll stay out of it. I'll still honor the merger marriage. Deal? Half smile. Slander requires evidence. Produce her. Oh, the nerve. First thing once I'm out. 911. You and Evelyn, deny all you want. I visited her. I know the scoop. Bluff, massive. Lucian, enlighten me. What scoop? I gave an ice-cold grin. You're crazy about her. She rejected you, so you'll chain her up and leverage Vance in the hospital. Am I warm? Total guesswork. He felt my forehead. Drug should have worn off. No side effects. I slapped his hand away. I'm pouring out secrets, and he diagnoses me? You lovebirds match perfectly. Just date each other and leave me out. God, I should have stayed overseas. The Vance empire isn't mine. Why am I the merger tribute? Lucian mulled. Dialed. Find out who Evelyn is. Pause. If she doesn't exist, book me a shrink. Click. He frowned. I frowned harder. Plot twist. Unsettling. I'm sane. Okay, listen. No hallucinations. Swear. Still silent. I caved. Julian's psycho photos shook me. And he threatened Evelyn? How else would I screw this up? Lucian side-eyed me. Muttered to his iPad, my record spotless. Yet they convict me on gossip. Only moments ago. The air was already crackling when Evelyn rang me, sobbing out an apology. While I'd been digging into her background, I'd quietly paid the hospital bills she still owed. At the time I'd assumed that debt was the reason she couldn't break free from Lucian. Lucian. Then she told me Julian had put her up to everything. He said if I split the two of you up, he'd cover every penny of my medical costs. I never thought you'd just pay it yourself. I'll pay you back. I was only acting. I'm so sorry. The truth is, Vance doesn't even know who I am. For a second I felt my whole world buckle. So all along the joke had been on me. My iPhone buzzed again. I lifted it and looked. A message from Julian. So no one's allowed to wise up late. Huh, wise up my ass. I said to Lucian. We need to present a united front. Find the real instigator first. Lucian already bagged him. He's en route to Africa. Then maybe you can explain the silver chain and this hermetically sealed glass even a fly couldn't escape. I just tried to crack a window for air. Turned out it had been welded shut. I told you. Lucian's gaze stayed level. It was only a warning. Serena, I gave you a choice. You accepted the merger marriage. You don't want to discover how much further I'm willing to go. Maybe it was the way his tone stayed soft, almost gentle, or the way the hand at his side was clenched so hard the knuckles had gone white. I relaxed, watched the faint tremor in his lashes, and said slowly, sometimes you're actually kind of cute. Lucian, you locked me up, then ran to the internet to Google how-to guides, even posted questions for strangers. What on earth were you thinking? Okay, I admit snooping through your iPhone was wrong, but we're about to sign a prenup and you pull this stunt. Do you have some secret kink I should know about? He studied me a long beat, then looked away and answered quietly, I don't really know. Maybe because I always feel you slipping. And if you decide to walk there's nothing I can do. I rolled that around in my head. It still made no sense. Lucian seemed to read my thoughts and added, even if you ditched me at the altar. I couldn't bring myself to retaliate. But I never want it to come to that. The plan I came up with was awful. It couldn't truly hold you. And I'd never actually keep you locked in here forever. I only wanted to kill every idea you had about leaving. Remember when you were chasing me? One night you were drunk and said you'd lock me up so I'd look at no one but you for life. He met my eyes, his black and bottomless, a voice whisper light. You'll never know what that did to me. I almost wished you meant it. That night we used the huge bed fitted with the delicate silver chain. Only this time the chain wasn't around me. Lucian's face, collarbones, every joint of his body, flushed scarlet. I found it surreal. The man who always stands in the controller's seat had finally peeled off the mask. He tilted his head back, eyes bright, breathing slow and even. My mom died when I was 3. Julian was born when I was 5. From grade school I boarded, right through college. The first time my startup took off, he finally looked at me like I existed. Yet he still plans to hand Vance and most of the estate to Julian. Even though my mother had been Vance's majority shareholder, I had no guarantee I'd win. I didn't dare promise you anything. I kept playing the man who'd already won. All swagger and certainty. At first I couldn't tell you, because I couldn't be sure whether you loved me or were just acting because the merger marriage forced you to. I kept expecting you to bolt. When he finished, his gaze returned to me. Dead mother, partial father, hopelessly devoted him. I was seconds from bawling. I rolled over and hugged him, patted his back like a buddy. Say no more. This wedding is happening. Oh, before he killed the light, I thought I saw his mouth hook upward. Must have imagined it. Right now he's still burrowed against my chest, on the verge of tears. I dabbed my own eyes. Early next morning, Lucian finishes washing up, squats by the bed, and starts poking my lashes with a finger. I let him play a minute, then yanked the quilt over my head. You're annoying, Lucian. Deadpan, sorry, but time to get up. We're going for the license. Question mark. I jackknifed upright. Come again? He paused, brows lifting and falling. Then he rose slowly, gave a self-mocking smile. Thanks for last night's pep talk. My mistake for reading too much into it. I caught his wrist. That's not what I meant. So can we get married? I dropped my head. No answer forming. I didn't know why. Everything felt too fast. I thought I'd been ready. Yet when the choice stared me in the face my thumb slammed the NO button. I couldn't look at him. Couldn't tell what expression wore him. Just when I braced for another meltdown, I heard him ask, then can we at least date? My head snapped up. Lucian wore a small, soft smile. I nodded, slowly. That works. He laced our fingers, forehead to forehead. Good enough. Don't you want my reason? I'd guess you don't have one yet. Exactly. I don't. Watching a dead leaf hover outside the window, I murmured, autumn's too short. I've still got so much I want to do. No rush. I'll wait, no matter how long as it takes. One random day I had a sudden craving for the ocean. We drove to Seaside. At dusk we grabbed food at whichever place looked decent, then strolled along the shore. The sun hadn't set. The sky was cobalt, waves slapping the rocks. Lucian looked lost in thought. I said, what now? You're making me claustrophobic. He glanced over. Your sweater's inside out! Exclamation point. Little heads up next time. Back in the car, I righted it. Instant oxygen. Lucian, better? Can breathe again. Then let's get married. I stayed quiet. He cupped my face. Landed a peck. Then a longer kiss. Through half-shut eyes I caught his fluttering lashes. The blue sky. Heard wind comb through seawater. Eventually he let go and produced a ring from nowhere. Will you? My cheeks burned. This was the third year since we'd made it official. He's swamped. I lose whole days to my canvases. But we still meet daily. Time after time I'd glance up at him and feel full. Since January he whips out that ring every time we meet and ambushes me with the same question. Stars glittered in his eyes, like if I said yes, they'd spill right out. Curiosity got me, so I answered, all right, let's do it. He froze. I surprise? I just kept smiling. His face shifted. Then he buried it hard in my neck. Soon the spot felt cool and ticklish. Arms around me, breath warming my skin. Why are you this good? I burst out laughing. As long as you know. Our wedding was tiny. Evelyn showed up. She said Vance's rehab was on track. She's even adopted a tabby kitten. Her career's taken off. She's her own boss now. She apologized to Lucian for the earlier mess. Julian flew in from abroad. He offered a grudging apology too, then added, but I'll never forgive you for having me dragged into that back alley and beat up sophomore year. Lifetime grudge, remember that. Lucian glanced my way. I studied the ceiling. Innocence personified. Later Julian whispered, no offense, but your taste is tragic. Me, whatever. He'd already taken the beating. The ceremony rolled on smoothly, but the instant the rings were swapped Lucian started crying stone-faced, as if he'd stored up a lifetime of tears. They poured out non-stop. I flapped around dabbing them away. Out of the corner of my eye I saw every relative lower their heads, eyes glassy. Friends clapped, laughing through well wishes. Some grinned, some wept. A few sadists lifted phones to record the deluge. Lucian gazed at me, eyes washed bright, smiling slightly, voice rough, it's over. I smiled back. Honey, it's the start. He started bawling all over again. Sigh.